the last relationship I think she had during COVID, she said that she broke up with him after 4 years. So we have to also stop making it seem like most black women are. She seems very, I'm not going to say, she just seems, I'm pretty sure you heard of Ebony K. Williams and that infamous interview she did with Ayanna Von Zant.
I want you to speak, Ayanna, to how women need to, position ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right, how we can create and not build, when some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if he owns the bus? If he owns it. If he owns the bus.
See, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem.
Basically, she was saying that she would not date a bus driver if he did not own the company. That caused a lot, the bus company, that caused a lot of problems. There were some people who said she was dissing all blue collar workers and saying that they were just below average. And how could she say that when her mother was a bus driver?
People were upset that they felt like that you were putting down the average person, quote unquote, average job, and the person that was working the average job.
And then some women agreed with her and said that, you know, she's a high powered attorney and she's making money and she's successful and she should want a man at her level.
Actually, I think if people were being honest, a lot of people would agree with her. But, you know, because someone else did it, we can all point at her and be like, she's being mean. She's putting down the bus driver community. This woman is a woman that went to college and universities and got her several degrees and is a lawyer that probably makes a lot of money. And I don't think she was putting down bus drivers. She said she wanted to date the owner. We've all talked like that.
It was a lot of debate. Listen. If you are a woman making a certain amount of money, I can understand why she would have that view, because women are hypergamous, men are too, but women want a man that is on the same level as them financially or above, especially women in general, but definitely if a woman is high powered. The problem, though, that Ebony doesn't realize is that she was married in her 20s before. So she's divorced, and she said that she wasn't ready to be a wife. So she blamed that on her. She took her accountability, but she was married before. A few years ago, she was engaged. That didn't work out. And now currently, I read an article that she was trying to have a child as a single mother. Let's just put it that way. Now, there were chances for her to be married. There were chances for her. She clearly has no problem getting a man, but keeping a man doesn't seem to be happening for her. So when you're 40 and your past relationships have all failed, and a lot of it because of you, from your view, the last relationship I think she had during COVID, she said that she broke up with him after 4 years because he spent COVID lockdowns with his children and not with her, and she wants to be number one in his life, and that was cause for separation.
You know what, this quarantine, I think, like a lot of couples, Wendy, it made us tell the truth about our relationship.
How long were you with him before quarantine?
Almost 4 years.
Did you live with him at the time of quarantine?
I'll tell you what happened. He actually did not quarantine with me. He has 3 children, 2 of which are young adults, and he chose to quarantine in New Jersey with his semi-adult children. And for me, listen, I'm not a parent yet, so I get that they're number one.
Right.
But I need to be number one, Wendy.
When you're at 40 plus years old and you have a personality as she does, she seems very, I'm not going to say, she just seems strong-willed is the word. She seems very strong-willed. A lot of men who have the earning potential or who are earning the money that she's earning or more do not want, a lot of times, women of that age, but they also do not want a woman that seems like she could be aggravating. Okay? And that's the problem when you have a preference like that, because the bus driver could be a very good, wholesome man that takes care of you and protects you and helps you, but it's very difficult for a man in the top 10% of earners to want a woman of her age, but also of her attitude, with her attitude. It's just true. They rather get with a 19-year-old that's not going to give them that much problems, that's not going to be arguing with them or trying to co-lead with them, or, that's going to be argumentative, or come with a lot of baggage from past relationships and have certain expectations. It's just not. Now, you may say that's not right, but it's just what it is. It's biology too. Let's be honest. For centuries, women have always preferred older men. And for centuries, since the beginning of time, men have always preferred younger women. And a lot of times, the men who are the top earners who are making six figures are usually in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. So if you don't want to be with a man that old, then you're going to realize that you most likely are not going to get a man making that much money in your age range. But Ebony is older, so I'm pretty sure she doesn't really care too much about the age. However, a lot of times men who are making that kind of money and who are that old do not want to deal with a 40-year-old woman who seems to be a headache. They just don't. And if you look at her past history as well, it seems like she was kind of the reason why a lot of that stuff didn't work out. So I get her having a standard, but biology also plays a part too. It does. It does. So, Black women, I'm not saying that you should lower your standards. However, a majority of Black women also, I saw the stat that said a majority of Black women, it was only like 32% of Black women that were enrolled in college actually graduated. So a lot of Black women aren't in college, and a lot of Black women haven't graduated from college. Okay. So to the notion that most Black women are college educated and going to college and getting degrees, that's not really true according to the stats. Now, the ones that are doing it at rates higher than Black men, but it's not a majority of Black women. I myself don't have a college education. The highest education I completed was some college, and I did some trade school. Outside of that, and I did theology school. Outside of that, I don't have a college degree. Okay. I don't have a bachelor's or anything like that. And that's a majority of Black women. So we have to also stop making it seem like most Black women are making lots of money and they are just going to college it's not true. Actually, the stats show that white women, Asian women are more likely to graduate college than Black women. So it's not a majority of Black women going to college. So a majority of Black women only really do qualify for a blue collar man or a man who is making $50,000 a year, because that's usually the average. So that's also just something that we can think about too. Not saying that type of man that's making six figures don't want you. If you don't have a college education, a lot of times they don't care if you do or don't. However, I'm just saying we have to stop thinking that we have to aim so high to get that type of man when in reality, we don't even have that kind of education, and it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, those men and men in general are looking for just specific things. They want a woman that is nice, agreeable, loving, nurturing. And that's really it. Supportive, respectful. It's not that much. They're not looking for a woman making six figures to have all these degrees and all this. That might be a plus. That might be great. But a lot of men just want a girl that's nice, a girl that's just warm, a girl that they can be open with and transparent with. And they know it's not going to blackball them and tell all their business. Hi, wife. If you enjoy what you heard or watched, please consider subscribing to my channel. More content updates coming very, very soon. God bless.